Microsoft has just unveiled their premium version of the Xbox One, the Xbox One X, previously known as Project Scorpio. It'll be coming out on November 7th at a price point of $499. Now, for those of you that already own a One S or even an original Xbox One, you might be wondering whether or not it's worth throwing down that much money to upgrade. Well, let's talk about 5 reasons why you should. Number 1, let's get the big obvious thing out of the way first, and that's true 4K gaming. One of the things that's really interesting about how the One X was developed is the fact that Microsoft was able to look at what games were already coming out on the One S and see what it takes to actually get those games to run at true 4K resolution and build a system that would be able to meet those requirements. And that's exactly what they did. And they've already done announcements for games we already love that are going to have 4K patches for things like Gears of War 4. And we also have upcoming games that are going to be doing 4K and full 60 frames per second like Forza Motorsport 7. Number 2, not only is the system more powerful, but there's also some design aspects of the body that are really important to look at. I mean, at first glance, you might think this is just a One S, but there's some pretty important differences. For instance, how heat is vented. On the One S, you have a lot of vents located at the top of the system, where the One X has placed them all on the back and sides. And in fact, you can even look at it right here. What's really cool too is actually looking at the system, the fact that the back ports are actually all the same. Somehow, despite having so much more power draw than a One S, it's still using the same kind of power cable, which is pretty freaking cool. Number 3, it's smaller. Not only is the design a little different and more interesting, this is actually the smallest Xbox ever designed. Smaller than any of the 360s, smaller than the One S, and definitely smaller than the original Xbox, which was kind of a tank of a system. The main thing is that it is a little thinner than the One S, which is where you lose most of the space. I also love the fact that for a long time, everyone was clamoring for a One S in black, and you're finally getting it in the One X. Number 4, now looks are of course nice, but after all, the big thing you're looking for is power. And it's not just the fact that this thing supports true 4K gaming. One of the really interesting things about the One X that I don't think is really getting talked about that much is it has a faster hard drive. Now, the main point of this is that it will support 4K games so they don't take forever to load up, but if you're playing games in just regular 1080, you're gonna see faster load times on this thing than you would with a One S or an original Xbox One as well. And number 5, you don't have to have a 4K TV to actually enjoy this system. This thing makes sure that it gives you its benefits either way. Unlike the PS4 Pro, which started off requiring you to patch specific games to have 4K support, or eventually they added the boost modes, you could turn that on to get a little better frame rates. This thing is perpetually always in boost mode. So you're gonna see things like better frame rates. If you're running games in 1080, it's gonna make use of super sampling to give you a cleaner, better image than you could get with the One S. And like I said earlier, faster load times. So there's your 5 reasons to upgrade to an Xbox One X. Pre-orders are going live pretty soon, I think. I'm gonna put a link down below for you guys to check out in case it does, and I will see you guys later.